We are getting closer and closer to the release of Splatoon 3, and of course we're getting more and more information on the game, and one of the biggest mysteries of the game right now is the campaign. We know very little about the campaign, but Nintendo seems to give us little bits of information more and more each day to kind of show us what's going on with the return of the mammalians. Who are these mammalians, how is the story mode going to work this time around, and what changes are going to be implemented to make it different than the first two games? Well, we don't have a lot of those answers right now, but Nintendo did give us a little bit more information, and we can look back at past trailers and kind of confirm what type of story mode / campaign this is going to be this time around. So starting off first, I'm going to use the new pictures that we got on Twitter, and we got 4 brand new pictures of the enemy archetypes and different pieces of the stages that we can see in the background. So first off, let's talk about this picture right here. We have 4 new versions of the Octo Trooper, and you can see the little container in front of their device that probably shoots out different pieces of their ink at the Inkling. You can see they're all covered in this bristle hair all over their body, obviously representing the new mammalians, whatever those are going to end up being, which we have theories for here in a bit. Now, they do seem to be under some type of mind control. We've seen the green / blue versions of them back in the Octo expansion from Splatoon 2 under the control of Tartar, so it looks like they're under the control of some type of mammalian here, and you can even see it with their eyes as they're this weird rainbow cream color. We actually see this rainbow color in another image showing all this goop all over the ground, and that the baby salmonid is actually able to suck it up and I guess eat it, whatever it is. So maybe this stuff got contaminated over the Octarians and it's brainwashed them, making some type of other creature control them, and they're doing their bidding. You can see that same colored ink left behind them as well, showing that this is probably the brand new enemy ink and the type of ink that they're going to be shooting at you. Now when we look at the actual stage, it looks very familiar to past campaigns that we've seen so far, where it's just kind of floating platforms in the sky, and I don't know how I necessarily feel about that. I don't know, I was hoping they kind of took it in a different direction, as we've seen a total of already 3 different campaigns with the Inklings and the Octolings. I would like to see something a little bit different, a little bit more open, and more of an adventure instead of just these little obstacle courses that the Inklings can blow through. But at the end of the day, it's still fun, and I don't really mind it. But here we see some grates that the Inkling can pass through after swimming up the wall and obviously hitting the boost pad. You then can see an orange crate at the top that we've seen multiple times already that probably is going to give your Inkling different types of power eggs in order to, collect and eventually probably level up their gear. This next image, we get to see new versions of the Octopod enemies, and there's a giant one now, like a mega Octopod. You can even see the ink inside of them is that new color, and their eyes are also that color as well. These probably blow up a lot faster and a lot bigger, wide-ranging as well. They rock some new sneakers, obviously having that brown fur from the mammalians, and of course in the background we can see some orange crates again, but nothing much else to go off of. There's a wall with some type of graffiti on some type of logo, but I can't really tell you what that says. In this third picture, we get to see another enemy archetype being the Octo Stamp, this time having some little headphones on them, which is pretty cool. You can see the back of them is obviously a fur-covered, tentacle piece, which is very creepy and nasty looking, and you can see the ink below their feet and their little toes as well. Yep, feet pics for the free. But yes, there's nothing much else to talk about here. To the right, there's once again taped up orange boxes that take a little bit more, ink in order to break them. And then at the top left might be the end of the stage, or maybe some more stuff that's just floating in the background. You know how the campaigns like to be, just lots of random stuff floating everywhere. And this last image, we get to see a whole bunch of the enemies all together, including some new versions of the ones that we haven't seen yet in this game. Top left, we have the new version of the Octocopter. It's pretty much the same exact version, he's just now fuzzy. We have the Octobomber that can rain down bombs from above. In the back, we can barely make out a new version of the Octo Sniper that will definitely snipe you from afar. We have a new version of the Twinticle Octo Trooper, which is pretty much exactly the same. He's just fuzzy now. Barely on the right side of the screen, you can make out the new enemy from Splatoon 2 being the Tentacook, which is a fast rollerblading Octarian that stole things and flew around the stage, and you had to find a way to catch them. You can see their rollerblades are full of that new ink all the way in the tubes. And if you look in the background, you can see the Kingpin Octoballer, which was a giant bowling ball with different tentacles shooting out of it, and you had to shoot the tentacles in order to break open the bowling ball. And we have a new version of the Octoballs. This time he's flying, and he has some type of disco ball outer shell that you probably can't penetrate unless you shoot him from from the bottom. Yep, you have to spray his butt with ink in order to hurt him. And the rest of the enemies in the picture are enemies that we already touched on. What's very interesting to me right now is that there is no new enemies. They haven't shown off any type of new enemy unless they're really saving some stuff for like E3 or the big direct this summer. I really don't know what's going on because there's nothing new here. All of these are enemies that we've seen so far in the past, obviously now just with a new coat of paint or really a new coat of fur. Now I know there's those of you out there that will defend this game to the core. This game could do no wrong and literally it's going to be the greatest thing for you ever, and I get that, that's awesome. But you gotta admit that this looks very, very similar to the campaigns that we've seen in Splatoon 1, Splatoon 2, and the Octo expansion from Splatoon 2. These stages look almost identical. They don't look super challenging. I know they're probably just earlier on stages, but still, it's the stuff that we've seen so many times now, but yet they're repeating the same type of level structure and design. It's just these floating platforms and the obstacle courses that the Inkling has to get through, and I can already tell this is going to be something very familiar that we've already experienced. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I was expecting more of an open adventure type of style of story mode this time around, not necessarily open world, but more just explorative, bigger worlds and kind of a connected world. After seeing that first opening trailer of the Inkling running through the desert, it kind of got me excited about something different. I don't know, something about these random floating platforms looks like it was kind of made in like a quick level editor, like a Mario Maker stage or something like that, slapped together for you to do a quick obstacle course. And I don't know, it didn't really quite feel like a story mode, like different levels and worlds to explore and things defined. And I would have loved something like that, kind of uncovering the story and finding a deeper lore by finding different scrolls hidden in caves and stuff. That stuff would have been really cool. But of course, you know, I'm not opposed to more of this. I just really want to see a change eventually in the future. And I was hoping it was now, but it just seems like it's still a little bit early for the series and for the franchise. So I get it, but still, that's just kind of where I'm at right now. Now, we do see some more open areas, or at least one more open area, and it's this place in the snow region. Obviously, with this giant rocket and this dome in the background, I don't really know what's going on here, but part of me wants to believe that this might even be just a hub world, somewhere that we go back to over and over again, or, you know, ways that we go to different levels and stuff. I think that's really all this is going to be. I would love to be wrong and this actually be like an exception to the game. Maybe there's some areas and some levels that are just giant worlds that we get to explore. I would love that to be mixed in with the, you know, regular levels as well. That would be awesome. But yeah, my heart and my gut is telling me that this is definitely just going to be a hub world, and eventually the rocket's going to be the end, and maybe the way we get to the final boss or something after we collect a certain amount of Zapfish or whatever we need in this game. That is the new information that we have on the Splatoon 3 campaign. Obviously, if more stuff comes out, I will let you guys know, so make sure that you guys are subscribed, leave a like, and turn on post notifications so that you are updated whenever anything new Splatoon related comes up. Let me know, guys, what you think of this so far. Would you want to see a little bit more than what they've shown us so far? Do you want to see something a little bit better than just the same type of campaign structure that we've been accustomed to for so long? Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and thank you so much for tuning in. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.